Hey, what's up, guys? So today we're gonna be building a dash harness. We're gonna be building I think a '04 going to a 2008. We're not doing the cluster because you can run the cluster helper later. So we're gonna run the column helper for now. I'm gonna build this whole dash harness, so when he gets it back, it's pretty much gonna be plug and play. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what he sent me. Dusty one's probably the old one. I don't know. All right, let's take a look. So, got the old harness. And we got the 2008 one. So, another thing too, when I ask you guys for your dash harness code and part number, don't send me just the part number. It's the same part number for that exact same year for every truck, even Excursions. So it doesn't help me at all because there's different trucks. There's trucks without power windows, there's trucks with power windows, ones with, keyless entry, ones without it, ones with automatic lights, ones with basic lights. So there's probably a dozen different dash harnesses for each year. So the code's more important than the part number, okay? And how you get that is if you look at this right next to your brake pedal, that's it. So it in the white is the part number, and that FM in the orange is the code. So that orange stripe is the more important part. Now yours is probably a different color. It might be the same, but usually they do different colors, I'm guessing. So when they grab that dash harness for that truck, they don't mix them up trying to read them. They're just like, all right, this guy needs a green one, this guy needs a blue one. So, and then the other way is they write it on the passenger side. It says FM, see? So other than that, let me go ahead and pull out my mock-up dash. We're gonna go ahead and strip the '08 harness and get all the pigtails we need. So we need everything pretty much for the column and maybe some other bells and whistles, a headlight switch. So let me get those stripped and show you what we're working with. Okay guys, I'm over here stripping the pigtails off. What I noticed, I think this harness is off a base model truck. And then I think someone's been up in here before, tape's missing and stuff. And then the passenger pigtail for the airbag's missing. But that's all I've noticed so far. But with this truck being a base model, it only had the basic lights, so park and headlight. It didn't have fogs or automatic lights, and I'm setting this dash up for that because his new harness has it, or I mean his old harness has it, the original '04 truck. So this thing's missing a lot of wires in the pigtail for the headlights. So I'm gonna have to find some donors so we can pin this to have the wiring for the automatic lights. So fun stuff. Okay guys, got the pigtails that I wanted. Went ahead and I stripped the column one super long. That's probably 4 feet long that I stripped out of there. Way more than long enough, but you can never be too safe. And then went ahead, I got the headlight switch done, and I've got the pins added for all the options. So the headlight switch and pigtail's good to go. And now what we're gonna start on is the old dash harness. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna get these two plastic covers off. I'm gonna start stripping a little bit of tape off, and then we can start building. So one thing that I noticed too is it looks like it had an alarm on it. They were up in the plugs, so this one's a problem. And I can tell, so look, you see how that wire is black? That's what happens when you use too small a wire to feed the truck. This stuff looks like it was heating up, and that's not good. So when you're running accessories and doing electronics and stuff, you want to make sure you're using the correct gauge, because I mean a smaller wire could work. It's just gonna kind of like I want to create some restriction on the wire, and it's gonna want to heat up, and that's how you short stuff out, and that's how wires burn. So that's what it looks like was going on here. So I'm gonna have to do a little bit of repair here to get this back to stock. And then looks like you had a little bit of stereo stuff going on, but other than that, I mean the harness looks all good. It looks like a junk yard harness, so I'm hoping that he's using the correct one. If he is, he's good to go. So definitely shouldn't be interchanging harnesses. This one does look fully loaded though. I mean, it's even got the automatic lights. It's got the power package. That's what these two big plugs are. So even if it isn't, I still think he could get away with it. So other than that, I'm gonna start stripping some tape off, and we're gonna get ready to rock and roll. Okay guys, so boom, I got all the tape that I need stripped off, and we got a lot of wires. So yeah, I got a whole tub full of tape. So now I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna get my mock-up dash, and we're gonna start building this bad boy. So heck yeah, this is the fun part. The not so fun part's pulling all that dang tape off. Probably spent well over an hour doing the tape between the two. So heck yeah. All right guys, so got my mock-up dash out. So this dash was really only set up to do 99 to 01 fuse boxes right here. And I've always wanted to do this. Basically sacrifice a dash to get this piece so that I can have an interchangeable section right here for either 99 to 01 fuse boxes or 02 to 04, because they're, you know, the big different size. So I can basically take this and I bolt it in right there, and I bolt it in right there. And if I want to interchange it, I bolt it in and bolt it in. So I think that's pretty slick. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty stoked on it. So making my own tools. So all right, so now what I'm about to do for this is I'm gonna mount all my hardware. Now what I mean by that, boom, I mean I'm putting my column on there. I'm gonna mount the fuse box. I got my new fuel cutoff switch, and then we're gonna make a setup for the column helper. So heck yeah, I think it looks pretty sweet. Actually, we might mount the column helper the way it's supposed to go. Maybe we'll try that. Alright guys, so I got my fuse box mounted. I figured I'd take, you know, just a minute to show you how I do it. So you can see I notch out a section of the frame, but I do leave a bottom piece of it so I can run those 2 screws. And I get asked this on a lot, so we'll go into a little more detail. And see those little white marks that I made? Those are dead spots basically inside the fuse box. So I know I can run a screw through there and it's not gonna hit anything. So don't screw it in the bottom of the fuse box. You know, I try to get it high as possible. Because if you go any lower than I have it, you'll probably hit the circuit board. So you got a little bit of dead space in there. So I got 2 brackets on each side for the top. I am utilizing that factory little bracket that was on the fuse box, but I did take a grinder and grind the rest of it flush. You can see right there, I pretty much trimmed off the extra junk around the fuse box, so it's a nice little square. And then notched out enough space there so I can get our main power bolt or power wire on there without hitting the dash frame, because that'll create some spark if you touch that power wire on this bad boy. So I just got it mounted to the side of the column mount basically. Yeah, and same thing over here. Both of these pieces of metal, I want to say they're 1/2 inch thick, 1/2 inch wide, and they're 5 inches long, both of them. And then other than that, you know, we got 4 mounting points. We got our top left one there, and then our top right one there, and another dead spot up in the corner, see on the top of the fuse box. And then we got, you know, 2 on each side for the bottom. So this fuse box is really solid, kind of low profile. It does clear the adjustable pedals, so you ain't got nothing to worry about with, you know, you're hitting your pedals or anything. It's really slick. And then I see where I put some white paint, so you can see that I did trim the bottom of my column, the little plastic piece that I have. I don't think it does anything. I don't know what the heck it's for, but trim those off on all my 08 columns, and that's pretty much it. Now I do trim the dash skin as well, so we're not building a complete dash, so I'm not going to be able to show you that part. But if you put the dash skin on there, you're basically going to replicate this exact notch on the plastic. So don't completely trim it, you know, leave a bottom little lip so that your dash skin stays together. So, but you're just going to notch it out on the frame and the skin. So hope y'all get a good look. Hope this, you know, helps you mount your 02 to 07 fuse boxes. But it's pretty slick. So, all right, back to mounting the column helper. Okay guys, now we got a column helper here. We're gonna go ahead and mount this sucker. I make my own little bracket setup. It's something that I just like to do. It's just my preference. I like running it vertical. Now Swap Helper has you run it the way it sits flat, so it can work for automatic and manual trucks. But the majority of the trucks I do are automatics, and I just like to run it vertical because it's something I like, and it's a lot easier to run the wiring, a lot cleaner, and you could still run the fold relay for the mirrors. So it's just a personal preference. It's just a custom little bracket kit that I make that I adapt to it. But other than that, I'm gonna show you how we get it in there, because I'm pretty sure my guy's gonna want to know how to get it in. So it's gonna mount in there off of this point. It's mounts in there the factory way, so you ain't gotta modify the frame. So it mounts off this stock hole right here. So we got our little clippy, so I can get it back on there. And then it's gonna mount off of this one and this one back here. So let's see. And then the plug's gonna be sitting right there. So bring it in. Let's see. It's kind of a tight fit, but oh, God dang it. Come on. All right, there we go. I got it. So that's how it's gonna sit in there. And then we'll go ahead and we'll bolt it in. Put my little clippy back on. So what I like to do is get them all snug first before I tighten them down. Not gonna lie, it's kind of hard to do with one hand. All right, we got that one started. Come over here. This one doesn't like to stay in because of gravity. So we'll get our bolt, get that one going. Let's see. Yep, got it started. And then the third one's down, right down there. Sorry, it's a little blurry. Let's see if I can find the hole. And voila. And then yeah, you'll just tighten them down, but that's how it'll sit. It doesn't sit perfectly level. I got it cockeyed a little bit because I want to make sure that basically my main concern was that this plug is sitting right in the middle here, so that you got enough room to come in here and click it. Because if it's going one way or the other, you're not gonna have enough room to fit it, because it's a tight fit. So I want to make sure that you got enough room. So basically I squared it off of this. So once, man, my camera's not focusing today. So other than that, I mean, that's how it is. It's pretty much chilling in there. Let's go ahead and tighten it down. I'll show you. It's in there pretty snug. This one's a little bit weird. Boom. Now she's bolted in. It's in there pretty sturdy. I trust it. So heck yeah. So, not saying I recommend this. Not saying you should do it this way. The original way, laying down flat, works totally fine. If you want to do this, do it at your own risk. I'm not going to give you the measurements of the brackets or any of the shit. So, just the way I do things, you know. There's no wrong or right way for this, you know. So, other than that, now that we've got all our hardware mounted, we can go ahead and start running this bad boy. So, I like to start from the passenger side and work my way on over, and then we'll go ahead and get this column helper in here. I'll probably pull this plug off, and this truck being a 2003, what I'm going to do is snip the 99 to 01 wires, just so we can thin this bulk out, because, you know, I don't like to leave wires in a harness that I'm not using. So other than that, let me get the chip chopping, and I'll start over there. I'll start to show you how this harness comes out. Okay guys, let me give you a little update where I'm at. Went ahead, I like to start with the passenger side. So we got these plugs squared away. I relocated the fuel cutoff switch because we're running the new one. Got it coming up this way. Now I don't have his gem module or the brackets for it, so I can't rig anything up for that. So that's something he'll take care of. You know, it's not rocket science. And then we got it coming down this way for a plug for the HVAC blender door. And then we got the new pigtail for the airbag. And then coming down this way, you got the plug for the airbag module, and then the stuff for the radio and AC. So I'm not messing with any of that. There's nothing to really do there. He's got that squared away. Now I did set him up with some 05 to 07 AC controls, and I did a little LED conversion on them, so they'll light up real nice. So he'll be squared away on that. But I'm about right here on the harness, and right here is a little important because we got to deal with this little box. Now we basically got to delete this whole little setup because the column helper has a flasher, a solid state little flasher relay. It's not a relay, but in there that'll take care of the blinkers. So we don't need this anymore. And basically we're going to delete most of it. There's a main power wire coming in, and basically we have to relocate this to the column relay, or the column helper. So other than that, we're gonna delete these wires. And what else? Now these two wires, this is an accessory wire, so you turn on the key, it gets hot. So sometimes I like to reuse this for something else, like if I have the audio interface, I'll hook it up to that. I'll use the ground for that. So other than that, we're just gonna relocate the power wires over there and totally get rid of this box so we don't need it anymore. So let me go ahead and take care of that, and then tape this up, and we're gonna be pretty much right here. Now I don't have to do anything with the body plugs, so I can tape all that up, make it look pretty. We're not doing anything with the cluster because it's an 03, so no cluster helper yet for this, but the new one's supposed to be plug and play anyways. So then that'll bring us to here. Now this just goes in the firewall, so I ain't gotta touch anything. Then we get to start the fun stuff, running wires into the column helpers. So I hope y'all understood all that, but basically we're gonna tape this up, make it look pretty, and delete this bad boy. So let me get squared. Let me get this all taken care of. Okay guys, a little update where I'm at. So I started to run wires down here to the fuse box so he can run them when he plugs in his fuse box. And yeah, so now we're gonna start running stuff to the column helper. I leave the relays out because it can be a little hard to get to the terminals with the relays in. So with this, I can get my hand and push it in there and push it in there. So one of the first things I'm gonna put in, he's running the new headlight switch, so I got my own little custom relay pack. And what I'm gonna do is double-side sticky tape it there so he can run his lights. And basically all the wires will be going there looking pretty. So I'm just gonna double-side sticky tape it right there. And basically I'm just gonna go wire by wire and go 1, 2, and just start running it down and making it look pretty. So not gonna lie, it's gonna take me some time. Mr. Swap Helper does include a bunch of terminals. So what you do is you strip the wire to length and then crimp them on here, and then I do solder these to the wires so the wire doesn't slip out, and then I put a heat shrink over it too. So make sure you do that, that's very important. So other than that, one other big thing to make sure is that this air ducting piece clears your wiring. So it can get kind of tight over here, but make sure that this sucker clears, okay? Now, granted the wiring's gonna be rubbing on it, but I mean, it's just plastic wiring, it'll be fine. So just make sure that bolt lines up. Sometimes I'll even leave it in here and double check after I'm done. So other than that, it's coming together. Just slowly organizing this rat's nest. All right guys, so I got the face of the column helper all ready to go, looking nice and pretty. I think it looks freaking sweet. We got the headlight switch going, so I got that done. And then now what I'm gonna work on is these wires that are coming out of the top of the column helper. So they're all pretty much cut and splice. They're labeled, like this one right here, cruise control, it goes to the truck. Okay guys, so we got the face of the column helper all wired up. It's looking nice and pretty. Made it so you can still access the relays and still pull them out if you need to. It's a little bit tight fit, but I don't know how else you'd do it any better. But it looks pretty slick. We got my headlight relay pack wired in and the new headlight switch going. So he'll have his new Super Duty headlight switch working. This is for the parking brake, so that'll go over that way. Then for his brake pedal. And now what we got here is the pigtail for the rest of the column helper wires that we're gonna wire in. So these are all just cut and splice. So I'd say about half of them go to the truck and the other half go to the new column. And then, so let me go ahead and get these wired up. Now on this truck, the clock spring and the airbag wires on this side, I like to leave them pinned in so I know what goes to what, because you can see there's a couple blue wires, and one of these black wires is for the cruise and one's for ground, and there's no way to tell unless you know what pin it's coming from. So we got that, and then I got my 2 airbag wires right here, so those are cut and spliced in the new column. But other than that, we're just gonna be messing with pretty much right here. So other than that, you know, this rat's nest is coming along. All right, guys, I think I officially got it all wired up. Just gotta, you know, zip tie it, tape it up, make it look pretty. But that's just a tester wire. That one doesn't belong there. But we got the column wire or column helper pigtail all put in. I've got it all cut and spliced going into the new harness on there. So I was able to, I just left all the factory wiring from there because the pigtail was long enough to where I could just come back here and grab what wire I needed. And you know, a handful of these are the same colors, so that's why I do have my tester here, so I could just, you know, put it to ohms and then put it on the pin, and then go from the pin back here to figure out which color wire goes to what. And so got them all cut and spliced and soldered in, looking nice and pretty. So they're all perfectly cut to length, and there's enough slack, so if we did need to move it forward or back, we could. So other than that, I'm gonna zip tie it up. I'm gonna put some of my fancy tape on there and make this look pretty. So other than that, I think it's pretty much done. So I'm excited. Let me tape it up and I'll give you the final product. All right, guys, I think she's 100% done. So I just wanted to show you the front real quick. So, you know, we got our fuse box mounted right there, looking nice and pretty. He's got all his wires over here. You know, I'm not doing anything with his AC controls, you know, as he's running these bad boys, so he ain't got to modify anything for the AC controls. Put my little LED mod on them. So he's got those. This is for the adjustable pedals. So he'll have to figure out where he wants to put that switch. His new harness didn't have the setup for that, so I doubt his new dash does, but that's an easy job. He can handle that. Right here you got your headlight switch and your dimmer. Now, so if you look at my column helper, it looks crooked. That's because I do that on purpose. I angle it this way because if we put it perfectly straight, that plug is going to be, the column helper plug is going to be hitting on stuff and rubbing on stuff. So I cock it at an angle on purpose. So other than that, I didn't touch any of this wiring. It's still all original. It's pretty much from here back is all me. So that's all factory, which is kind of cool. Saved me some time right there, I think, not having to undo all that tape and run each wire and rebuild that harness. So it was nice to be able to just leave it the way it was. So let's go ahead. We got our cluster wires right here. I don't have to do anything with that. We'll go ahead and flip her down so I can show you the goods. So here we go. Got that beautiful freaking piece of art. I went ahead and put the air ducting tube on here to make sure everything cleared. It is tight, but it does bolt in and did clip in, so we're good there. Other than that, got all the factory plugs. They clicked right in. We got them running up through the column right here. Now, what else I'll show you? This goes up into the engine bay, so it should be plenty long. Got your little parking, your brake pedal wire right there, and then your parking brake one there. And then we got our pigtail lumen here for the new column. Now coming down this way, we got our body plugs. He's got his grounds right here, and what he'll do is he'll just run his grounds to these factory spots right here. So, you got your gas pedal, easy peasy. Now you got the center part, so now we don't have that flasher relay anymore. He's got his trailer plug right here. Usually what I do is just run them in there and just let it chill, plug it back in. And then he's got stereo and all that stuff. So I didn't have to touch any of the AC or stereo wires. He's got an airbag control module. Now this is the sensor for the automatic lights. Yeah, so that, yeah, there you go. And then we got the new airbag plug on there, so it can run the 08 to 16 airbag. And then coming down this way, blender door, little plug. Now he's gonna have to rig up his own thing, or just, you know, jerry rig the gem in. That'll plug right in. Coming to running the new fuel cutoff. So make sure you reset that sucker, because Sometimes I'll just move the dash from here to the floor, tip it on its side, and then get it up in the truck, and it will reset the switch. And I always get myself every time, I'm like, man, why won't the truck start? And then I'll come over here and push this button and fire right up. So make sure you reset that. And then coming down here, you got your other body plugs. So other than that, it's a quick overview of the whole harness I just built. Basically, he'll be able to just put this on his 08 dash and plug and play it into the truck and be ready to party. So, but man, that column helper, I'm not gonna lie, it takes me some time to wire this in to make it look this pretty. These wires are not flexible. They are some pretty thick copper, I'm not gonna lie. On the newer harnesses, it's a little thinner, but this old boy is like, it's like trying to bend almost a solid piece of copper. So other than that, pretty stoked on it. Not gonna lie, I think I spent 2 days on this. But I'm pretty happy with how it came out. It looks pretty slick, so I'm getting better with them every single one I do. So other than that, that's pretty much it. So this is an 03 to 08 harness that I built. So I'm gonna rip it off this dash, I'm gonna box it up, and I'm gonna ship it back to him. So other than that, I'm freaking tired. It's like 5 in the morning. So I'll catch y'all later. Stay tuned for the next video. We're hopping back on some other stuff. So we got some good projects coming.